attendance, and when your name is called, please say here or whatever you want. Let's get started. Give me 1 second.
Adam, do you want me to go ahead and mute everyone and they can unmute themselves when necessary?
Yes, that sounds great, Jason. Cool.
Okay. Including yourself.
And Jason, if I miss anyone, can you do me a favor and say who I might have missed?
For sure.
Okay. So let's start out with Justin Hunsinger.
So, what were my topics?
You're just saying here.
Oh yeah, here.
Stacy Hall. Okay. Abby Gibbons. Candace Herget.
Here.
Greg Fuss.
Click on the dots.
Here.
Monique Matthews.
Rename.
Present.
No. Yes.
Sam Livingston.
Here.
Stephanie Piles.
Here.
Ray Miller.
Here.
Quinny Moody. Sam Livingston.
I think you said me twice.
Oh. Okay. My apologies. You're right. I did. My apologies. David Godoy.
I'm here.
Christine Town.
Yeah.
Billy Muhaney.
Present.
Alexia Wentz.
Here.
Did you unmute yourself?
Yes, I
Okay. Anna Grace Berry.
Here.
Okay. Was there anyone else that I missed?
Elena Camacho.
Oh, true. Elena Camacho.
I think you missed Matt
Here.
Weingram as well.
Yeah.
You
Here.
missed me, Adam. I'm
Rusty.
here.
Okay. Rusty Buchanan.
Yeah.
Matt Weingram.
Here.
Okay. If Jason, do you think there's anyone else? I think
Carmen is just logging on, and
so Carmen will be logging on, and
yep.
Then I guess that will be it. My apologies, guys. I had everyone on my list. Okay.
Adam, we have some guests and mentors here as well. Do you mind if I call them out?
Yes, go right ahead, Jason.
No, not call them out. That's not the So Gail Watterson is joining us. She's Gail, welcome. Gail's joining us as a mentor in the Unified Leadership Subcommittee. So we're glad to have you here, Gail.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we have Tom Estock has worked with the Athlete Leadership Program since the very beginning. He's joining us tonight this morning. So it's good to have Tom. Nice to see you, Tom. And Debbie Credito, who currently looks like a fan and a light, as you can see her picture there, is our official note taker. So we get everything right, and we just Debbie. And then we'll introduce Pat in a moment, but Jim Schmutz is joining us. He's Special Olympics President and CEO. So.
Jason, there's some background going on.
Yeah, I think it's Carmen. So I'm going to mute Carmen. Yep. All right, there you go. I think we have everybody then.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us today. So before we get into some old business, because he's here, I'd like to start out our meeting. I'd like you guys to kind of put on your thinking caps and start out our meeting with having Pat Cullinan, who is our director of the Northern Chesapeake region, and he had some things that he wanted you to talk about. Let's start this off with this question. So, how can we increase participation in local athlete input council and leadership meetings? Pat, can you tell us a little bit about your question that you'd like to for us to talk about?
Sure, Adam, and thank you for letting me say a few words about this. We've had some challenges up here in the Northern Chesapeake region, which includes Hartford, Cecil, and Kent counties, in attracting athletes and to attend our local leadership training sessions. And I wanted to take a few minutes, if it's okay with you all, to get your thoughts on how we might more effectively support you. If you have any ideas on how we can more effectively recruit on your behalf and encourage and interest other athletes in participating in the local programs. We've had kind of small turnout in a couple counties that I work with, and I know there are more qualified, capable, and interested athletes out there. But I really could use your help and your thoughts and any ideas you might have in how we go about attracting those people to the meetings. So if you have any thoughts, I sure would be interested in hearing them.
Okay, guys, do you, let's start out, since I see him first on my screen, I'd like to go to Greg Fuss. Do you understand the question, Greg, and what do you think? What do you think about it? You're still on mute.
I mean, we can make up some flyers and then put them around the put them in the community, and then explain what we do for Special Olympics and what we can help with some athletes too.
Okay. Matt Weingram?
I agree with Greg there. We're gonna make some flyers, and we should get more athletes that way, and you can help us get more athletes in, get more coaches in, enter Special Olympics. We need a lot of help on that.
What other kind of ideas do you think could help?
We need more coaches for we need to make a lot of distance for Baltimore County. We need a coach for that, and I want to get that started next year, long distance running for Baltimore County. We don't have that,
So,
for that.
So the question is, how could you increase participation in local athlete input council and leadership meetings? What
Should
kind
be
of
like
things?
fundraisers, you get more athletes that way.
What was
They
that?
can have more participants.
Okay.
Hey, Adam.
Like fundraisers.
Yeah, Pat.
Could I just ask a clarifying question?
Absolutely.
What was it that attracted you all in your individual situations to the Athlete Leadership Council? Was it a personal invitation? Was it an advertisement? Was it something else that made you first aware of this and generated some interest on your part in possibly being a representative?
Okay. Sam.
Well, we should make like a video or something to those athletes, like saying what we do and stuff.
What Pat said, what got you into the Athlete Input Council? How
I was picked by you, I think. You,
Yep.
Justin, and Stacy.
We sent, what did we do we sent you an invitation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We sent an email out to everyone after Jason and I kind of sat down and figured out an athlete that might be great in the area that could give their opinions about certain things.
Okay. Personal invitations.
Okay, so Sam, go ahead and say the rest of what your idea was.
Okay, what I would want to do is maybe create a video of like everybody in the council and what we do and saying how it helps us out and our counties out. That way we can explain to those guys and like what we do and how it can help each other out and our states out as well. Not our state, but our counties out, delegations. And maybe after that, we can maybe like go around and recruit some people that we know in that group.
Okay. I love that idea, Sam. Thank you. Great.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Next up, I'd like to go to Monique Matthews. You're on mute. Okay, there we go.
Yep. Okay. So I know you and Jason selected me, but it was for a reason because we were in Seattle for the USA games, and you guys said that I'll say Jason said I spoke very well, and I had the characteristics you guys were looking for, kind of like with a good leadership, and I encourage my teammates, and what I was thinking what they could do is probably do what I think Matt suggested with a fundraiser, but make it more of, all right, here's what we do, and then kind of like a meet and greet, kind of like take like a handful of us down there so that way they could physically see what we do. Or do like a commercial for it or something like that, or a radio.
So basically put some athlete leaders that are already participating like us to kind of have us in some roles so that they can be like, oh, so that's what athlete leadership is, right?
Yeah, because when you and Jason picked me, I honestly did not know what athlete leadership was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it existed, but that's basically what I think would help, other athlete leaders and everything else, because people don't realize once you're an athlete leader, it's not like the stuffy like you should do this, you should do that, but the experiences we got to experience, like DC Day and Hill Day and everything else. So it's a positive experience.
Okay, thank you. Candace Herget.
Myself. I'm trying to figure out who recruited me. I think it was Jason. I don't know who recruited me, but maybe we can post something on Facebook, like show pictures what we do in the meetings and everything. Basically, we got to show people what we do. That way we can make a difference in other people's lives. People with intellectual disabilities. That's my idea.
Great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty Buchanan.
Yeah, I just started with the Special Olympics 5 years ago, and I met my girlfriend, Erica Wheeler, and she was talking to me about athlete leadership, and also following a new singleton to follow through with the athlete leadership. Those two people saw a potential inside of me to make it step up high itself.
So it sounds like it was word of mouth is how you kind of got into Athlete Input Council. Someone told you about it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Elena Camacho.
Yes, so I think I was invited by you and Jason, and this was also around the same time I started serving on our board of directors and also our sports committee, and also I think, Adam, if I'm right, I came on board the Athlete Input Council shortly after we decided to when we decided that the Input Council would be a lot more better than when we had the Athlete Congress. And so my idea for to get more athlete leaders involved, maybe we can invite them to sit in on their local area management team meetings, or like their regional management team meetings. I think, for example, if I'm right, I think Anne Arundel, I think we're part of the Western region.
Okay. I can't exactly remember, but yeah. Good. So, that's a great idea. Cool. All right. So David Godoy.
I was thinking about, since I am bilingual, making flyers in both languages, Spanish and English, and that way we can attract not only the English community, but also the Spanish community.
Okay. So to be able to attract more athletes, you would think more flyers.
Not only flyers, but it's invite them speaking myself in Spanish. Do like a round table, and once we invite the other athletes to find out what is our program all about. I can perhaps be the person who speak with the other people who might be joining the leadership program. I can translate to Spanish.
Cool.
Excellent. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Billy.
Nothing more. I got a really good question. Idea.
So before you, let me repeat the question for you real quick. So the question was, how can we increase participation in local athlete input council and leadership meetings?
Send pictures and videos on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. So the advertising, that's a great idea. Cool.
Good
Thank
idea,
you.
Bailey. Thank you.
Okay.
Abby Gibbons.
Dad. What? Sorry. Something to do with my friends. Wait.
Just answer here. Get athletes early.
Get athletes ready. Anger. Earlier. Have events for younger people, like in middle school.
Okay.
That's my guess.
So sounds like you're trying to reach out to students in middle school and stuff, right?
Yes, middle school.
Okay.
Good one, Abby. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's see. Next up, Carmen.
Hello. I hadn't heard everybody's ideas, but I think mine will be, because I like to think outside the box a little bit more. I really like to do like a big poster, like like a road, like the people Pacific Road that people can see it. Because I've been on interview before about an athlete leadership and I know that Pat might get so shocked that I actually was on a billboard in Chicago talking about Special Olympics, and that was fun to be on. Because I know everyone wants to be on a billboard for once, but my sister's friend saw me, but didn't get to take a picture of it, but she saw me of it on a billboard talking about Special Olympics, and that was really cool. But I have a great personality when it comes to this. I'm happy I'm being on here right now, but I really like to think outside the box, like to bring like everyone in the local, like bring like to bring like from like overseas or to other places that we're in right now, like in Maryland, but then I like to do like take it over to other places. Like to like when people, I know that people like to travel a lot. I think it would be really cool make like a sign, a specific sign. To do that, like one in Maryland, one different sign at the Pacific Road, or like an overseas thing, like a sign, like not like when people have to drive, but I meant like just if they want to read it, like go to a specific site to go to the Special Olympics Maryland page.
So Carmen, the question was how can we increase participation in local athlete input council and leadership meetings? What kind of ideas do you think could help that?
Like a road sign?
What was that?
A road sign?
A road sign?
A road sign.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Okay. Because you're welcome. Because I've seen like, and I already did like Spencer Shea put a road sign above the Pacific One there, and that people that drive by and see if they are interested in our athlete leadership council.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Next up, Alexia.
Good morning.
Morning.
I learned about the Athlete Leadership Council from an invitation from you and Jason. I think everyone had great ideas on how to increase participation. You can do like multiple things with it, like advertise or, show people what it's like to be in the Athlete Input Council to get them more interested. I don't think I heard about the Athlete Input Council until you and Jason had emailed me an invitation. But I think to get more people interested would be like advertising about it and getting people excited for them to be able to join and interested and to see what it's like to be on the Athlete Input Council.
How do you think we could advertise?
You can do like different social media sites or videos, or have like a table set up different places to get people interested. Like I know Coach Gail, she does at the beginning of Star Season, she always gets people recruited from other places, like different schools around Calvert County and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, so next, Christine Town.
Well, I have to agree with some of you guys said. Maybe we can like branch out to like the social media sites. And first off, I was introduced to this program, I think from you, Adam, and Jason, I believe. And then going back to what David said, I have 7 years of Spanish, so maybe David and I, we could help with any of the Spanish posters or putting things on social media. And then we can reach out to other groups. Or maybe we can recruit maybe at least 1 or 2 more people from each area as well to represent this input council as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in Howard County that has a lot of good ideas. It shows really good leadership strategies.
Great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
Anna Grace.
Myself. Yes.
The question was, how can we increase participation in local athlete input councils and leadership meetings?
So for me, this is my first meeting. I've never really heard about this before. And so what I think you need to do is, like others have said, is you need to advertise it. One of the huge ways to do that, I think, is social media, because social media is such a huge thing. And then also at like the summer games, have like a little table set up about it. Like, what is it? Who are we? What do we do? Because at Towson, you'll see like the merchandise side of things, but you won't see like get to know the program more type of thing, which I think is what we need.
Great, thank you.
Well said, Anna Grace.
Thank you.
And lastly, Justin Hunsinger.
Say that again.
I'm moving on to Justin Hunsinger. Thank you.
So I was that we could gather a group of SOMD athletes to like receive donations like in cities, like on streets or something, and then tell them like 2 or 3 things of how to get involved, 2 or 3 different ways, and then give an example of how it changes it, really has an impact on your social life once you get involved.
Okay.
I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
does that pretty much cover your what you were looking for, Pat?
It sure does, Adam. And thank you and thank the group. I expected a few ideas to come of this, and I'm really pleasantly surprised at all the terrific ideas that came out. And obviously, one of the constant themes of a number of comments that were made is, aside from the promotion and the signs and social media, but it looks like personal follow-up, phone calls and personal conversations with people following up an invitation is really one of the things that attracted you all to being part of the council as well. So again, thank you for your ideas. They were terrific.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Before you get going, we have one other topic that we wanted to have explained to us that Rusty Buchanan had. He was wondering, we're going to move on to another topic. He was wondering if you could explain the plan to recover from the COVID-19 to start sports when it is safe to do so. So can you ask your question, Rusty, for us? Can you tell us a little bit what you were looking for again?
Yes. I was like, it's like going back to practice when it's safe. I'm more about safety issues and whenever the athletes feel safe. And I'm more concerned about the athletes, what they are thinking about itself, and when do they think they're safe to come back and practice, and also the competition wise too.
Pat?
Oh, I'm sorry. Adam, did you want me to speak to return to action plan at this point?
Yeah. I think that's what Rusty's looking for, right?
I'd be happy to. Jason, could you either give me the control so I can pull up the PowerPoint or put it up?
Yeah, you should have control now.
Okay.
I think I made you co-host.
Can you guys see that red and white slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you all, first of all. I've had the opportunity and the honor to participate in a guideline setting return to action plan. Over the last several weeks, a group of about 8 to 10 people, including staff people from Special Olympics Maryland, as well as representatives from the local areas, have met to discuss this all-important topic that was just mentioned. And if you don't, I think it's the rare exception when you don't have a concern with what's about getting back out there. But my guess is that as long as it's safe, and safety has been the overriding goal throughout this entire process, as long as it's safe, that the majority of folks will be comfortable going back out and re-engaging in their respective practices. So a little bit about the plan. Special Olympics International established guidelines, and Special Olympics Maryland looked at those guidelines and determined that the vast majority of them is what we would go with as well. Although we did take the liberty to amend those plans to our individual needs as well. The guidelines cover all in-person activity, not just practices. Practices are really important to you all and all of us as well, but anytime there is an in-person activity, which would include any kind of meeting you would be involved in, or training sessions, or special events like a fundraising event, these guidelines that we're going to review here quickly, they govern any type of in-person activity until further notice. The protocol that is part of these guidelines is required, and why that's highlighted in red there is because this isn't a situation where a group can look at the guidelines and say, of these 10 items, I think we'll follow 5 or 7 of them. You really have to follow all of these protocols, the safety protocol. They are there for a reason, and that reason, again, is all of our safety. There really is no opportunity to get this wrong. We don't want to play games with your safety or our safety or any of our volunteers. It's all about doing this safe. And then ultimately, please keep in mind that while we will be getting back out on the field, various local programs and local sports starting in the middle of July, no one is required to return to action right away. If you're uncomfortable for any reason in going out when your program starts up, there is absolutely no requirement that you participate at this time. These are the 4 phases that the governor of Maryland has set. Just a brief explanation. Phase 0 is when, prior to this period that we're in right now, when everybody was restricted to home and there was, for the last several months, Special Olympics Maryland offered no programming because of the virus, for obvious reasons. Where we're at today is phase 1. The red box there. The order to stay at home has been lifted, but there are restrictions on size of gatherings. As you may be able to read there, in-person programming may resume if there are less than 10 participants. And I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail what that means exactly. As long as we also adhere to physical distancing. You probably all have heard a little bit about maintaining that 6-foot minimum distance between ourselves as we're in public or at practices or whatever, that there is also no direct or indirect contact. And what we mean by that is no touching, no touching of another person during a practice or a meeting or what have you, or indirect contact, which would mean, for example, something like a ball used in practice that someone might have thrown, and now that they've touched it, we don't want our athletes or our volunteers touching that equipment or that ball as well. That's considered indirect contact at this point. And then, of course, we will have pre-event screening that will take place prior to allowing anybody to practice, and I'll get into that in a little bit as well. Very quickly on the other 2, as the governor determines that the state is safer to move forward, he will increase the size of groups to under 50, and the same requirements remain in phase 2 that were in phase 1, except for the indirect contact. The use of a ball or touching of the same equipment is acceptable during that period. We would still have the event screening as it says there in the last box. And then phase 3, hopefully we'll get to this point again sometime. This is basically the way it was before the virus hit our area in March. These are unrestricted practices, and pretty much the easiest way to think of it is life before the virus. Anybody have any quick questions on that before I move on?
So in the chat right now, I'm seeing one question from Christine Town. She usually plays volleyball in the fall with Howard County. Do you think this would actually happen?
It's very possible, Christine. Right now, we're focusing, and I'll get into this in a second as well, we're focusing on outdoor sports only, the safety factor. However, as the numbers in Maryland continue to improve, the governor regularly reviews the situation, and as we were to move into phase 2, it is much more likely that indoor sports would be considered, again, with the physical distancing and other safety protocol, but likely as we go into the fall, there's a very good chance that volleyball would resume as well.
So, and I was just gonna add on, if it's okay, Pat, and also Adam. We practice at a local high school. I spoke to 2 of my friends the other day on Facebook in regards to that. Hearing from another athlete, another kind that the fall sports have likely been canceled. Does that affect anything that is any outsiders in like a public school that does do practice in a school setting?
That's a great question. That's a great question. The schools will have the ultimate word over practices in their facilities. So most likely they're going to be in the same phase that we operate in, although we're very safe and very conservative about this. But if the schools okay that, then we would still make a decision as to whether or not we would move forward with our programs. But it's likely that we would consider that if that would go forward if that was the case.
Okay, yeah, and we're the only county in Maryland that does volleyball, and we play with teams from Pennsylvania, but we compete in Delaware Fall Sports Fest, so we kind of have to do like kind of contacts with not just our county, but with the other teams that we play against.
Gotcha. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Christine. Carmen was asking if you bring your own equipment, does that count?
You can certainly, we encourage everybody to bring their own equipment, Carmen, but it's really important that you keep that equipment in a bag and away from the prospect of other people touching it or accidentally using it. But yes, we're going to recommend not only you bring your own equipment and keep it segregated, keep it away from the group, but if you need additional safety equipment that I'll get into in a second, we're going to have things like mask and sanitizer and other safety equipment available at the practices for everybody to use as well.
Let's see here. Will a group of track be minimized or stay the same size? Can you explain that a little bit, Monique?
Sure, Adam. You read it like you were confused. So,
yeah.
Hi, Pat. So my question: I'm a track athlete for Baltimore County, and I remember you saying that no more than 10 athletes will be allowed to do outdoor sports, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
So
can I stop you right there? Because your question is perfect, and it's at the perfect spot for clarification.
Okay.
In phase 1, it does say groups under 10, but what we have decided to do is multiple groups of under 10. We feel that as long as we can, and when I say under 10, I'm not just talking about athletes, but I'm talking about coaches and volunteers as well. Feel that as long as we keep the people within the groups separated by that 6 foot and we manage their safety protocols, and do that with multiple groups of under 10. So we may have up to 30 people available as long as we effectively manage those separate groups and make sure that they stay separate throughout the course of the practice. Does that answer the question? Okay, great.
Let's see. Another question we have is how about basketball in the winter? Is that going to happen? From Matt Weingram.
Matt, it's unknown at this point in time. We're really looking at little shorter windows and making determinations on the next 30 to 60 days. Hopefully, as progress continues and we continue to get control of this, that more and more indoor sports and team sports, which are a little bit more challenging than individual sports, are going to be approved to go forward. But we probably won't be able to make that call for a couple months yet.
Yeah, thank you, Pat.
Sure.
Great fuss. Is tennis a great possibility in cycling?
Both of them are. Cycling, because it's an individual sport for the most part, and a much easier way to manage the safety protocols and the safety distance. And tennis as well, as long as we employ, again, all the safety protocol, the sanitation, the social distancing, et cetera, we think tennis, being outside, is one of those sports, again, that we can effectively do safely at this point in time. So we're going to move forward with tennis in July.
Okay, and one last question. How about swimming practice?
At this point in time, we're not moving forward on swimming. The challenges of maintaining social distancing and all the other safety protocol on an indoor sport like swimming seems to be something that we don't think is worth taking the risk at this point in time. Likely when the governor, again, if we progress and things continue to improve, likely when the governor moves us into the next stage, they would reconsider that and likely approve moving forward with swimming and other sports at that time.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I think that pretty much covers it. I know we have other questions, but it definitely, I think you definitely covered everything for everyone. I really appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time and sharing all of this with us. And we hope we gave you a lot of great ideas.
You certainly did, Adam. Could I run through just a couple of, I'll make this very brief. Could I run through just a couple other quick slides to make sure everybody gets a couple pieces of information here?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We're going to provide paperwork to make sure that we're tracking everybody as a safety component that goes to our practices. We're going to provide training to all of our athletes, all of you all, as well as our coaches and our volunteers, to ensure that everybody understands what needs to be done to maintain everybody's safety. If you think about our practices in 3 stages there at the bottom of the slide, the arrival process, the practice itself, and then the departure process. The arrival is really the most important component because it's at that point that we're going to screen everybody. And this is a quick review of the screening process. And this is common across most all athletic and social organizations right now. These are the same 4 questions that everybody would ask. Have you, in the past 14 days, had contact with someone who's been sick with COVID-19? Have you had a fever in the last week? Do you have a cough or difficulty breathing? And then do you have any of the following in that list? And then after those questions are answered, as long as they are answered no, you move on to the second and final component of the screening, and that's the temperature check. Everybody has to be below 100.4 on the thermal thermometer, and that is you may have seen it in videos on the news, that's a thermometer that is projected on someone's forehead and can give you their temperature reading. So that's the pre-screening process. This is what I was mentioning earlier, the masks. Most sports are not going to require masks during the practice as long as we maintain the social distance. However, prior to and after, there's likely going to be a need to use them. So we're going to ask that the local programs provide them, as well as the no-touch thermometers I just mentioned, hand sanitizers, and disinfectant for the equipment. This is a practice log that we'll keep on everybody, athletes, coaches, and volunteers, how they answered the questions and were there symptoms present, so we can keep a record for our purposes and medical purposes. If someone does come down with the virus, then we need to be able to know who they were in contact with, and this will help us do that. Getting just a couple more quick seconds here, Adam, if you bear with me.
Absolutely.
Behavioral changes. Everybody, I think, is becoming more familiar with the need for social spacing and that minimum 6 foot. So that will be maintained from beginning to end of the practice. No closer than 6 foot to the next person, any person at the practice. And then if we have multiple groups, per the question earlier, you're going to be asked to stay in your group, and we'll have volunteers there to help you with that process to make sure you know what group you're in and that you're maintaining that space and the other safety protocol. Some of the things in red there are things that we all commonly do at our practices, but at this point in time, until further notice, no more high fives, no more handshakes, no more hugs, and no more shared equipment. And I know that's going to require some reminders because we do that so naturally with each other, but it's really important that we don't do this during this period. And we're going to be training our people and reminding everybody that that's just not something that we can do moving forward. There is a training webinar next Tuesday for all of you. This is the first of 3. And it's going to focus on the athlete screening process, a little bit more detail about what I'm talking about, and helpful reminders of what you need to bring to your practice. This link you see there in green is also on the area memo and is going to be sent to you all. We'd love it if you would attend these training seminars. There's 3 of them, as I said, and if you can't make the Tuesday one, they will all be recorded and you can watch them at your leisure. And that's it. So a couple other very quick points. There are sports-specific enhancements. Obviously, the way we treat kayaking is going to be a little different from the way we treat soccer or tennis. So aside from the basic safety components I just mentioned to you, there are additional safety components that are sports-specific that your coaches will review with you and make sure that we're doing to maintain our safety throughout. As I said earlier, we're focusing on outdoor sports only at this point in time for the safety component. As we move forward down the road, more indoor sports will be considered and most likely approved at that point. And individual and team sports. It's a lot easier to maintain someone's safety in an individual sports, but we know we can do it with the appropriate monitoring and training in team sports as well. But they will likely be more focused on drills than your traditional team training where you would have soccer competition or flag football competition, where you would have head-to-head or face-to-face or close contact. We won't be permitting that during those team sports. And here, the last component is hopefully good news for some of you who have had challenges getting doctor's appointments during this period. We are extending the medicals. Anybody that had a medical expire from March 15th, which was the official date of the suspension due to the virus, through September 30th, we are going to extend that time, that period, up to September 30th for you to get your medical updated. Meaning that if it's out of date right now and it came out of date after March 15th, you can participate if you choose, as long as you get it updated before September 30th. And that is assuming that there have been no major changes in your health status, that you obviously have not been infected with the COVID-19 virus, because that would require a separate medical clearance, and that you're not experiencing any of the following symptoms there. And out of the interest of time, I'm not going to read them for you, but that's it, folks. And I really appreciate your time to overview for this. We took it very seriously, as we do for obvious reasons. This is all of our safety and our health, and we're just not going to take any risks. So if anybody else has any quick comments or questions, be happy to take them. If not, I'll turn it right back over to you, Adam.
Does anyone have any other quick questions or comments? Jason, do we want to do this one by one, or do we just want everyone?
No, if people could just raise their hands or put it in the chat, that would be great. Pat, can this slide deck be available for distribution?
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. So all members of the Athlete Input Council, you will get this. You will get this slide deck or a link to it by the end of the weekend. So.
It looks like David Godoy has a question or comment.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Can we, the athletes, have the webinar registration form so we can attend the Tuesday meeting?
Yes, David. Jeff Abel is the one that put that together, and he's going to be sending out an email invite over the weekend to ensure that everybody gets an opportunity to register and attend that webinar.
Okay, I love to attend the meeting.
Excellent.
Me too.
Okay. Well, if anybody else doesn't have any other questions or comments, thank you so much, Pat, for joining us this morning. It really it really was informational, and I'm glad that we gave you good ideas. So
you sure did. And thank you so much for the invite. I very much enjoyed being with you. If it's okay, I'd just like to hang around and stay quiet and listen for a little bit. If that's okay.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Jason.
Okay, guys. So that was a great start. Something I realized that at the beginning, because we jumped right into it, that I didn't introduce any of our new members. I wanted to give a few of you, a few of our new members some shout outs. Rusty Buchanan from Carroll County. Christine Town from Howard County. Matt Weingrim from Baltimore County. Carmen Houston Ludlam from Calvert County. Alexia Wentz, part of our Unified Sports Subcommittee. And Anna Grace Berry, also part of our Unified Sports Subcommittee. So thank you so much for all of you for joining joining our council. From what I've already heard, you guys have been giving some great comments and suggestions. We're really kicking this off with a bang. Let's get into our old business here. So last time we talked, one of our things we talked about was individual athlete input councils at a county level, and I wanted to ask Jason, did we work with the sporting department to obtain good emails for outreach?
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So we did reach out to Steve Bennett and Mike Zarnowski in the sports department, and they've created a large email list of every good email in our database, which adds up to about just over 4,000 emails across all the counties. We have access to that now, so that when it's time for an athlete input council, we'll be able to try and get information out to those interested athletes in that particular county very specifically. So I know our next one, we used it for the Allegheny County Athlete Input Council coming up on Monday, and we're going to use it for the upcoming one in Anne Arundel County. So we now have a good email set list, but we have over 8,000 athletes. That means 50% of our athletes don't have good emails or any emails. So we're going to have to work really hard to start collecting more of those.
Great, thank you. The other question that was on the list was, have you, Jason, been contacting everyone to help create and hold athlete input council meetings at a county level?
We did do a reach out to all of the members on the AIC to host something. If you're a new member and you like this is your first meeting, don't worry about it. But I have reached out to others. We're still waiting for some dates and some meeting opportunities. I know Montgomery County is outstanding. Prince George's County still doesn't have one in the books. We haven't made too much headway on the Upper Shore has one scheduled. So we're still missing some, but I think we will have more athlete input councils this year than we will have at time in the history of Special Olympics Maryland. So I think we're doing well. I'm looking forward to doing better.
I think that's really great. Our next topic was one that David talked about last time. Have flyers that are bilingual or in more than one language. Jason and I have not had many events to be able to be translated as of yet. but we will continue to work with you, David, to help make flyers more bilingual, because we can tell that is a really important thing, and we want to definitely be able to work with something like that. Our next sorry, guys. Our next old business item was letting athletes vote on dance themes and fundraising events. We have not shared this with Steve Bennett to facilitate feedback on events regarding the dance themes, but it is in our list to do so. So we plan to continue doing that. But I wanted to ask you guys, before we move on to our new business, with this topic, I'd like to ask a few of you, should athletes vote on themes for upcoming virtual dance parties? If you think so, say yes or no. Say yes or no in the comment box on the side. Sounds like we're getting everybody saying yes.
Hey, Adam, could I add that we actually heard from Steve Bennett late yesterday?
Yes.
About the dance themes. So we're talking to Steve Bennett. We have he and the people who are in charge of the kind of dance at summer games have a committee, and they're very open to having athletes on this committee who would join that committee and help with set the dance theme. And there would even be room for those of you who are interested and not too busy competing on that Friday to join the committee and help kind of set up the dance with the decorations and do all of that stuff that's involved with it. So we have made progress. We're going to move ahead with opportunities for athlete leadership onto that committee. And so if you're interested, just let Adam or I know. Or if you know people who aren't on this committee who still would be interested, please let us know. This is a good chance for you guys to be able to set the theme of your own dance versus someone else setting the theme. So I think a great opportunity to move us forward even closer to full unified leadership.
And just so you guys know, there would be some responsibilities, but you guys are really capable. And I know that if you were interested in it, yeah, definitely let Jason know. I know dances are a big thing with us. So, well, most of you anyway. So, but we're those are some great things, and we plan to continue talking to hopefully get more athletes like you to be part of giving feedback for that. So, okay, guys. So that was our old business. Now we're gonna we're basically right on time, and we're about to go right into our new business. Let's start out with our first topic. We've already done two topics or three topics, thanks to Pat and Rusty. So let's go into our next one. Ideas for small fundraisers fundraiser area programs can do during the pandemic. And that was from Ruth Vickers. Ruth was basically asking, Ruth Vickers, the Assistant Area Director for Frederick County, was asking, do you have any ideas that for small fundraisers that area programs could do during this time that we're not all together? So I'd like to start out around the horn with David Godoy. What do you think we could do to help for types of fundraisers during this time that we can't get together?
We can do a fundraising, virtual fundraising. Of course, send the invitation in advance and have send to all the athletes, and not only the athletes, also send the invitation to the staff in the Special Olympics office.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Greg Fuss. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you can.
No, I was answering Sam's question about who Ruth was, and I said for Frederick County.
Yep. Yeah, again, guys, Ruth Vickers is the Assistant Area Director for Frederick County. Greg, what kind of fundraisers could we do during this time of the pandemic, since we can't get together?
I can go to McCudgeon's out there on South or on Wisner Street. See if they're willing to donate something for, like, we can raffle off to try to make some money for Frederick County, and then I can go see if any store, any of those stores in the mall will donate something for raffle off, like gift cards, or we can do like we can try to get them to do like, if we want to go to Dick's, we can go to see if we can get them do a raffle off, like a set of golf clubs or a tennis racket or something, and then we can try to make our money off of donations.
Thank you. Stacy Hall, what could we do during this time for fundraisers? What type of fundraisers could we do during this time of the pandemic, since we can't get together? If you're talking, you're on mute.
I thought somebody unmute you. That's why. I'm sorry. Restaurants would be great, but in this situation we are in right now, they might not want to do fundraisers. They want trying to get their business back from being closed. When we start fundraising for the Super Plunge, the Super Plungers ain't going to have much choice. But generally fundraising, I know Pizza Hut does a thing where you can buy certain amount of coupons for the restaurant up front, then the profit's right there in your hands. That's the idea. I don't know how many Pizza Huts around, but everybody's closing because they claim bankruptcy right now from the COVID-19.
Okay, thank you.
Hard to say.
Gail has her hand up.
Okay, Gail, go right ahead.
All right, thank you. We did an online fundraiser selling T-shirts through a company in Chicago that was offering a special fundraising for cheerleading teams. Of course, that's what I coach. So we did a little brief online fundraiser, and that worked really well. So we don't have to have contact with anyone and worry about the restrictions from COVID. So that's another option for a lot of teams.
Okay.
Gail, did they ship the T-shirts directly to whoever bought it to their address?
Yep, they sure do.
Okay, so there's no contact.
No contact at all. Easy breezy for the coaches, because everything went directly through this company on an online web store. So it made it super simple. They could pay online, and they got it shipped to them, and we get a check.
Maybe we could do a T-shirt for the summer games that never happened.
There you go. That's brilliant. I would buy one.
I would too.
I think people would buy those. So that's actually really
there you go.
Good idea.
I think we have an Athlete Input Council fundraiser coming.
Uh-oh, yeah. All right, I see Sam Livingston's hand up.
I have a question for this part. Is this for county-wise or this for Special Olympics Maryland in general?
County. This is for Frederick
I was
County.
thinking.
This is just county in general, but Ruth is just wondering what kind of county fundraisers.
I was thinking we could do like a mini auction / fill the gap stuff. Like almost like how DJ Kopak did for the virtual summer games. We could have like something where we can like raise an amount of money, as well as maybe do like a mini auction as well.
So we could do a mini virtual auction, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Could we auction off that Ray Lewis thing back?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Also, we could get like the Ravens involved as well. Possible.
Very cool. I think I saw someone else's hand up. If you had your hand up, okay, Chris or Candace.
I had an idea too, like for a mini fundraiser, we can do like a mini virtual concert.
So you think that for at a local county level, not us, but as a county, they could do like a virtual concert or something like that?
Like if it can be like a mini virtual concert. It doesn't have to be like like a couple of songs mostly.
Okay.
Anna Grace has her hand up.
Who was that?
Anna Grace.
Anna Grace. Okay. Let's hear what you have to say.
So kind of piggybacking on what Gail said, doing a t-shirt fundraiser type of thing would be great. And I know some people who could help us out and like maybe even sell like the summer games stuff.
Uh-huh.
But then I also had an idea of like we could do virtual events like bingo, a virtual movie night, and there's kind of like to sign up you have to pay like $1, $2.
How could we do like the bingo thing?
A bingo, I was thinking have a host and create different bingo cards and email them to the people that would participate.
Oh, I get it. Okay. So you actually email them. Yeah, I was like, I wonder how we could get that to them. Very cool.
That's a great idea, Anna Grace.
Sometimes I have good ideas.
I think, did Rusty, did you have your hand up? You said radio.
Yes. What I'm talking about is the advertisement on the radio. It's like try to do something right on the radio stations that I was thinking of to reach out to other people like 95.1 FM. It's a Christian radio station that I listen to. That I think they will have no problem to reach out and do the advertisement, do the Special Olympics thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did anybody else have their hands up, Jason?
Matt Weingram.
Matt Weingram. Okay. Go ahead, Matt.
Brandon's idea, like, we get t-shirts. How we get the oars involved too for this fundraiser as well. That'd be very nice to get the oars in this.
In a county related, just at a county level, how do you think you could get during this pandemic, since we can't see each other? How do you think we could? What kind of fundraisers could we do?
You're like, I guess a good idea. We're going to like t-shirts, like t-shirt stuff, raise a mini concerts, like on Zoom. I mean, as for some games, you can start teaching for like winter games as well, and the fall and the spring.
Okay.
You can start teachers that way. We can raise more money, get more athletes that way.
Good ideas. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Does anyone else have any ideas? Oh, I think I see Christine Town.
Yeah, so I have an idea, just something that Howard County did, because we couldn't have an inspiration walk this year. We had a virtual inspiration walk. So we still raise money for it through our first giving pages, or mail donations or whatever. And then we just walked around our neighborhoods and post pictures. And then I work for a nonprofit, and we can ask businesses to donate stuff like gift cards or things like that. And maybe we can have an online auction or something along those lines.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Adam, it looks like Anna Grace, Carmen, and then Monique have hand raised. So if we can go to Anna Grace.
Absolutely. Anna Grace.
Sorry, I had another idea, kind of going back to the whole t-shirt thing.
Absolutely.
I think with custom ink, you can create your own t-shirt designs, and then you can kind of create a fundraiser out of that. So that way it is virtually, and it's kind of like what Gail did for Cheer. It goes straight to the consumer.
Okay. Great ideas. Okay, who else did you say, Jason?
Carmen Houston Ludlam, please.
Carmen.
Sorry, I have to unmute myself. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I was thinking of a virtual interview, from Special Olympics that have involved in the Megan Pringle from what's it called again, Mr. Jason?
From Megan Pringle?
Yeah.
She's from WBAL.
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you. For the WBAL interview, and also the WJZ from Baltimore, and also the Fox 5 in Washington, D.C. Those kind of interviews in our general area. I heard that in Grace had a great idea of a t-shirt. but I like to do like like a virtual thing with interview and radio, what you said about. I like to got involved in what Sam said about the United A Rock, like get that involved, and also other people I said before get involved with that too. In this as well, and also like I have a lot in mind, but that's probably a good start in my head right now. But
So it sounds kind of like you're saying just like advertising and stuff like that.
yeah, like an advertising, like on interviews, basically. Like
Okay, interviews and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like I have that like in mind now, but I like to put that in there in this council so everyone gets the idea of what I'm talking about in this.
Okay.
I like to put that in there so that we can get like an advertisement, like people have it on YouTube or be on like an interview or be on a billboard talk about this council.
Okay. Jason, did you said there were 3 people? Was there one other person?
Monique Matthews. Yeah.
Monique.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Remember the improv class we did with Emma?
Yep.
So I was basically thinking bring all of us together virtually and basically do it as a fundraiser that way. So that way they're looking at something funny, but it's also dealing with Special Olympics. Kind of like, okay, if you click this link or donate $1, you could get this, or, you know, something that links it together, if that makes sense. Kind of like we're putting on a show for you to show you what we can do. So that way you could donate to us.
So you think like at a county level, athlete leaders could put on a show virtually or something like that,
right?
And as a fundraiser. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, cool. Well, if anybody doesn't have any other ideas, I think let me just quickly look
I have
through.
one more idea, if that's okay.
Okay, Sam, go ahead.
Well, going back to the 98 Rock stuff, we could get like my boys, Justin, Scott, and Spiegel to join in this thing as well. Also, I was thinking one last thing is we could do like our own version of a 50 for 50 challenge almost.
So you think like at not us specifically, but at a county level, athlete leaders could do a 50 for 50 type challenge in their area. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, guys, if no one objects, I think we're gonna take just like a quick 10-minute break, just to get our brains a little easier, and then we'll come back at 10:36. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. All right.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
What have you guys been doing to stay busy? What have you guys been doing to stay busy?
Video games for me.
I went back to horseback riding lessons a couple of weeks ago, so that's a good thing to do, and it really practices the social distancing.
Yeah, Justin, I'm not trying to pick with you, but why do your cheeks look like they're like?
I have no
They're probably
idea.
the way
Maybe
you're laying down.
it's probably why, but
Like,
I
okay.
also have been drinking a lot of lemonade teas and stuff.
Ah.
That's funny.
I've
Huh?
had one too many cookies.
Probably.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Don't worry, I'm hitting the treadmill a lot once I get I got an apartment in Main Street, so once I hit the gym, I'm gonna be on the treadmill all day long.
Yeah.
Good.
And I've been walking every day.
I like the treadmill as well.
I'm gonna have to run like 6 miles or something every day, at least 5 days a week to get to where I need to be with my fitness.
The treadmill is awesome.
Get going. We've got
oh my gosh, you're right. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So let's get back to what we were doing. Thanks. I'm glad. Thanks for taking that couple minutes break. I want to start out with. I have a question that I wanted to for myself that I wanted to see if you guys could answer. How can we as Input Council members reach out to more athletes to join our virtual movement? So if you have something, please raise your hand. Okay, Monique.
I'm unmuted by Jason. Lovely. I know I'm a member of Virtual Movement, and I know you are as well. Basically, how we can get more people to do it is basically what we've been doing, like the 50-50 challenge, or saying, like, for example, you ride your 50. You don't walk it, you don't run it, you ride it. So I walk my 50. So basically what we continue to do is just say, hey, I'm on Virtual Movement, I'm doing the 50 for 50. Why don't you come join me or track me, or, kind of like what the Strava does, or Facebook, like we invite them to come, like, hey, well, my name is Adam Hayes and I'm riding my 50 for 50, kind of like, not like that, but kind of like, come on, join me in the Virtual Movement. We do cool stuff like 50 for 50, kind of like plug it, kind of, and show us actually doing it, not saying we're doing it.
So,
Yeah,
quick question. With raise of hands, how many of you have heard or have been doing the 50 for 50 challenge? For those that have not, have you ever have you been had trouble, or have you just not heard of what we're doing? If you're not exactly sure what the 50 for 50 challenge is, please raise your hand. Okay. Candace, what will, Jason, could you explain what the 50 for 50 challenge is for her real quick?
Sure. Yep. 50 for 50 challenge is essentially we are encouraging family members, athletes, unified partners, coaches, whoever, as a supporter of Special Olympics Maryland, to walk 50 miles before September 6th, I think is the date, or
I think it's September 1st.
September 1st. Great. Thank you, AG.
I only remember that because it's my birthday.
That's how we're going to celebrate the end of 50 for 50
Exactly.
at the Barry House. Yeah, and so we walk 50 miles by September 1st, and so it's a group. I think currently there's 120 or 30 of us involved with it. So, and it's at your own pace. It's not a race. It's just whatever you can do. There's an additional challenge of 100, but certainly not everyone's going to do that. So
Okay.
it's just being part of our group.
So can you also do the 50 walks if you're on vacation too? Like if you're walking somewhere on vacation?
Yeah, there's actually an app for that, Candace. And if you're interested, let me know and I can send you a link to the app and all that information. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have any other ideas that as athlete input council members we could do to reach out to any of our fellow Special Olympic athletes to join the virtual movement, basically on our social media and on Zoom, like what we're doing here? If you have any other ideas, please raise your hand.
Sam has his hand up.
Okay, Sam.
I was thinking we could partner with Ben Vargo on this part because he's our fitness guy, right? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking maybe we can get him like involved and maybe like, I don't know, creating like a big video for all the athletes to show like on the Special Olympics Maryland Facebook page and on the website too as well. Because I know that I know a lot of athletes look at the website as well. So I was thinking maybe we could have him maybe create like a big video for that.
Okay. Christine?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we can have like since I do multiple sports, like well, I do track and stuff. Maybe we could have some of those who do track or cross country that can show us how to do it. And we have a big track and cross country team for Special Olympics Howard County. So maybe we can recruit those folks that can help us out with that, with the 50 for 50, but for not just for that, but for other activities within the 50 for 50.
So you think we could recruit more athletes come on our virtual platform here through having someone else come in or something like that?
Yeah.
So Christine, you're saying we should target the track athletes and the cross country athletes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, in fact, my boyfriend and his brother, well, my boyfriend and I, we both do track. So, maybe we can recruit people like that and do that. Anyhow, yeah. So going back to what you said, Jason, maybe we can just recruit people who do sports like track and also the long distance running programs.
Okay. Anna Grace or Alexia, how do you think we could recruit any unified sports athletes to join our virtual movement?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
How do you think we could recruit any unified sports athletes to join our virtual movement?
Social media.
Social media?
Social media, like if you know somebody that's a unified partner, definitely send it to them. Or it could even be a way that you kind of recruit unified partners as you let them have like a little insight on what Special Olympics is.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Stacy, your hand was up.
I know about the virtual movement. I participate in some of the events, but social media is great if you give the email to the athletes who's on the info counter so they can share it with the county in time to participate. I've been forwarded in a couple of messages to one of the athletes, a couple of athletes. I have private personal emails for. My county tried to share it on the website. They could not get the last email out about voting. Somebody, I don't know if it was Jason did it or not. She could not get the move to the website. It would not take the link on our website for some reason. I wanted her to share it with the instant contact list for the county. She could not share it for some reason. I don't have all the emails for all the athletes I participate with.
Okay.
That's the only way I can get the message out.
Jason, do you understand what she was saying there?
Yeah, we need to make sure the links are working and people can access it. So yeah, we'll work on that.
Okay. I could access it. She could not share it on the Hartford County website for some reason. It would not share it on the website, the link.
Okay. And I think I saw, Alexi, your hand was up?
Yes, my hand was up. I forgot what I was going to say. I really like how you guys do the virtual movements on Facebook. That's a good way to get people involved as well. It's fun activities that you guys do, and they're very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've came to a few. I can't really remember, but that's a good way. And I think, sharing it with other people or like telling them what you do and like what kind of sports you do and like just sharing it with them to get them interested in joining the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually writing another story about unified sports and I'm combining it with friendships I've made in different groups I've done. So I thought that'd be pretty interesting.
Cool, thank you. Carmen, I saw your hand was up. You have to unmute yourself, I think.
Sorry about that. I think everyone says social media. I think I can say that too. Maybe YouTube can help because I know that I've seen Mr. Jason post things on what we do of every activity that we do. Probably this one too. Maybe that's a good way to do that. Like do the link below on YouTube to see what people are interested in doing the virtual movement.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if people have TikTok, we can probably do I did something about a TikTok dance challenge. I think Sam said that's a good idea about that. Maybe we can do that about that, and we can do that on TikTok. See what I see people being interested in doing things like virtual movement, and I can tell from that. Because we do a lot of virtual movement at home. We want other people to join in as well. in our virtual movement, because from our perspective, our virtual movement is very great to put it's great to put something like people might be interested in something. By what we do as our virtual movement, because I know we do like a lot, but we have to do something like I know people at self-15 said not comfortable doing that type of thing, but I think I agree with her, but it's a good way for a fresh start to do a virtual movement of things like that. And I would like to share that as well for like basically social media, even Facebook or Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter.
So you think using social media to platforms to get out to recruit other athletes?
Yeah, like to put things like out there, like people might get so interested, because people being so interested on YouTube, basically like other videos. But I think it's for ours, it's a great idea for put something on there of what people can do, like to do like something with like an exercise. Because I know there's a lot of exercise on YouTube, but if we do something about that, we can put that forward in our future time for our this council, I think.
Okay, thank you. David, I see your hand up.
When we have the 50th anniversary that we did couple of weeks ago, and we have our DJ Chris Stone and DJ Copet come to help us out. I think it was a successful day for that, to have both DJs have like festivities of the 50th anniversary. So I think it will be a good idea to send an invitation again to Chris Stone and DJ Copek.
So you think we could have like an additional virtual dance, and that could possibly be a way to recruit new athlete leaders?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Anybody else have any other ideas? If not, then I'll move on.
I just want to comment to what David said.
Okay.
That we can also raise a lot of money for our counties just by doing that alone too. Going back to that thing what was her name from Frederick County said.
Great, thank you. Okay, so thank you for that, guys. Our next topic is how will the pandemic impact the USA Games, and will they be pushed back a year from Justin Hunsinger? So, Justin, can you explain your questions a little bit more?
So what I mean by that is, if we're not able to like have like a state competitions for all the team sports and stuff, will we not be able to have a USA Games in 2022? Like, will it be sent back to 2023 or 2024?
Okay, so according to Steve Bennett, who is who works for Special Olympics Maryland in our sports department, he said at this time, Special Olympics North America and the local organizing committee in Orlando, Florida, have not indicated that there are any plans to postpone the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games. As always, the health and safety of the athletes and other participants are the priority of Special Olympics Maryland and Special Olympics International. Although there are no current plans to postpone the 2022 Games, USA Games, the organization continues to monitor the situation of the world with the COVID virus. So, that was Steve Bennett's explanation to that.
Okay.
Hey, Adam, could I jump in quick?
Yep, go ahead, Jason.
So Justin, thanks for the question, and this is the importance of why we ask you guys to get the questions in early, because sometimes we can actually go to people who have the answers in real time, and we can actually present them here. So again, when the next time Adam asks for questions in advance, if it's really important for us to be able to, there are discussion questions, there are voting questions, and then there's informational questions. This is an informational question. If we can get these like a week in advance or 10 days in advance, Adam and I will hustle and try and find some answers for you guys so that you don't have to wait so long. So I just want to stress the importance of getting your concerns and questions in early.
Thanks. I'll make sure I get in a week or so early.
And I'll be sure to continue sending you guys reminders like I've been doing. But when I do, make sure that you when I send out those reminders that you send something as soon as possible for me, and then I can.
Sounds good.
All right. So now our next topic: send out surveys for athletes and team sports. This is from you as well, Justin. And you said, should we send out a survey asking athletes in team sports what their thoughts are on sports being at risk or not, happening and a risk of not happening, and how not having summer games this summer impacted them in general. And I think you said you wanted to vote on that. So can you explain to us a little bit more about your what you were asking?
Well, it's also, I thought of another thing to add about like asking how they, like adding to the poll about like USA games, if that gets canceled, how much more significant that will be for SO North America and the athletes involved. But also, I guess I just want to get all the athletes of SOMD. I want to get an idea of how it's impacted the health and like all like mentally, physically, and emotionally. And just like I want to see, like I just want to get an idea of how things are going, how like things have been, what's been happening all around the state, especially mixed Maryland.
Okay, so you were saying you wanted to vote on if we should send out a survey asking athletes in team sports what their thoughts are on sports being at risk or not happening. So so Jason, do we have a virtual vote, or should we just do this by hands? You're on mute, Jason.
Yeah, we should do this by hands, or we can do it in the chat, Adam. Either or. I don't have a poll ready for us.
Okay. Okay. So, did you guys understand the question? If you did, just raise your hands. Raise your hand for me. And
can we rephrase the question, please?
Okay. So let's see. So should we send out a survey asking athletes in team sports what their thoughts are on being on sports being at risk or not happening, and how not having summer games this summer impacted them in general? Jason, how can we rephrase that?
I think we focus on, it sounded when Justin was talking, he was worried about kind of everyone's health and how they're feeling. So why don't we have the vote on how did the cancellation of summer games impact them, impact athletes? And so then we can get a feeling for how everyone's feeling, without having been able to go to Towson. So.
So
Does
do
that
you
sound
guys,
right, Justin?
That's spot on.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate.
So do you guys think we should send out a survey based on that? If you think so, either say yes in the chat. Go ahead and say yes in the chat box for me, please. Or no. If you don't think so, you can say no too. Let's see. So, anybody else? If not, then okay. Stephanie, did I see anything from you?
No,
Okay,
nothing. Nothing from Stephanie and Ray. So.
Well, before we get going, I think I see something from Neil. What would be, Justin, what would be the goal of the survey? Just an opportunity to express feelings, or would they do something with the data?
I was thinking they would maybe do something with it.
You can talk. It's unmuted.
Can we
I'll
please
get that.
mute the background noise? I'm really getting a headache.
Yeah,
I
hold on.
am too.
Got it. Mute.
Okay. So, I was thinking we could come up with like a game plan and I was thinking like we could like come out with like an outline for like a game plan or something for what we want to do with the data. I think I guess we could use it to get an idea of the state that SOMD is in, and see if there's anything we can do to help improve everyone's like health and stuff. Like, see what SOMD can do to help out with that. If there's anything we can do.
Okay.
So could we, Justin, could we use the information that people give to ask, and we could ask a second question, is like, how can SOMD virtual movement help you feel more included, or something along that lines, and then generate ideas on programs we could offer?
Yes.
All right. Looks like AG's got her hand up, if I may call you AG.
Go ahead, AG.
Everybody has now adapted that nickname for me. That's completely fine. So with the idea of the survey, is it kind of like, what can Special Olympics do to like make up for missing out on the Summer Games? Is that your idea?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is how can we like make up the Summer Games, even if it has to be like at an earlier time in the year. I mean, like, what if we have like the Summer Games late this year, and then we just like have like another like a summer, then we can start prepare for the 2021 games.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, sorry. So Justin, I can actually answer that one. In discussions with Steve Bennett and Mike Zernowski, they have said that there will be no room in the schedule to do the other competitions if we try and insert Summer Games somewhere else. And so I don't think the Summer Games will come back, but if we can focus on what we can help. Can we help athletes through the next while not competing? Maybe we can do more with that. That would be more of an actionable item.
I think so.
Yeah, because so Summer Games won't return. Like 2020 is lost. So yeah,
it's lost. It's
So-
in Davy Jones' locker now.
It's Davy Jones'
Thanks, Justin.
So if anyone, if that changes anyone's mind on the vote, just go ahead and say so in the chat. But otherwise, I think we can do kind of how are you feeling about it? How can we make you feel more connected to Special Olympics and moving forward? So.
Can we catch up Elena with this, because she just joined back in.
Yeah, let's fill her in on it.
Well, it'll also be in our notes, so
That's true.
So she can always refer back to it, but
Yeah.
staying so we can stay on time. But since we're here, and because you just joined in, let's get with the next one from Stacy Hall. Will we be playing next season? If so, will there be tournament play too? And Stacy, can you explain that? And what sports and seasons are you referring to?
I was really referring to this upcoming season and what I'm studying right now. When I possibly start up.
Jason?
Yeah, Stacy, I think Pat kind of dealt with that in his presentation, is that we are going to try to go to groups of less than 10 and sports that are involved with single athletes, like that you can separate quite easily. But I also remember Pat saying that he can't predict what's going to happen coming up, really think anything past September 1, because things have changed. You guys know that many states in the South have actually gone back to restrictions on play because they opened too soon. And so we are in really good shape in Maryland. Our governor did an excellent job in getting us in good shape, but we are reopening, and so that we have to still be cautious. So we can't predict anything past September 1st at this stage. But as Pat presented, they are trying to put some things into place. There'll be announcements kind of every 30 days or 60 days as we go through the season. And just want everyone to know we are anxious to get back to, but we are more anxious to keep everyone safe and then get back rather than rush into this. So.
Does that make sense, Stacy?
I happened to just join in time to help Pat thing, but I submitted that question before I knew Pat was going to be discussing that.
We will be sending that slide deck out so people could look at it as well. So.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you. Okay, so our next topic. I'm glad you're here, Elena, because it's about the virtual plunge. Can you explain what your question is for us a little bit more?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. Sorry I had to leave for an appointment. But so my idea is, I know this is not until January, but if we're not going to be able to do our full-fledged polar bear plunge over at Sandy Point State Park, my ideas were we can do like a virtual plunge. So my idea is that for those who sign up to participate, I would say still keep it at the minimum, $75 entry fee to do it. But my idea would be that what we could do is kind of something similar, if you remember the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, where they could, stand in the shower, say, I plunge for insert reasons here. And, they can record those videos and post them up to the Plunge MD website, or like they can take a kiddie pool and fill it with ice and water and then jump in there and also record a video of them doing that as well.
So is there a action item we want to do out of this? I'm trying. Jason, do you think we should have an action item out of this? I'm trying to think.
I would be, Elena, are you looking for kind of that idea and other ideas that maybe the council has?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then I think we could, if people have ideas on how you could handle a virtual plunge, we would, we could hear them now. So
yeah. So if you have any ideas, please raise your hand for me.
It's like we can, Sam, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sam.
My idea got stolen by Elena, but I just want to give her prompts to that because I was literally thinking that as she said it.
All right.
Unfortunately, we have the same minds today.
So that's a twofer then. All right, very good.
Thinking the same.
Yeah, we probably have to bring it up to like who's in charge of the plunge now for staff? Jesse, right?
Frank Farrell.
Oh, Frank. So we probably have to bring it up to him.
All right. Going across the top of the Brady Bunch leaderboard, Monique.
Okay. So Elena, I like your idea, but can that be for people that don't, you know how like we say, bear the cold? How about if we say, for example, if we do have it, but they minimize it?
Yeah.
Would you be open to having that as an alternative for people that don't want to go to Sandy Point?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I don't know if we'll be able to have like the full-fledged plunge festivities for next year.
Okay. No, I was just, wondering, because that could be an actual cool idea, because I know you and I did it, I think this year, right before the whole pandemic hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, for like people that are like scared, like, oh my gosh, the water's going to be freezing. That could probably prepare them, or they could send in the video saying, whoa, this is my first time plunging, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Yeah, so that's probably my idea. That could be like a secondary option, because I know we're probably going to have it, but they're just probably going to minimize the group.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking.
All right, thanks, Mo.
Candace.
Okay, taking off what you said, Elena, I had a crazy idea just come into my head. What if instead of doing like freezing cold water, can you also use like hose kind of water, like a garden hose water if it's really cold?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking we can say, I'm doing the plunge, and you can turn the hose on somebody and just let the water sprinkle down on you.
Yeah.
As somebody who wants it, you have to be very clear, Candace. You can't just turn the hose on anybody walking down the street or anything. You can.
Unless you're Jason Schrimmel.
Assuming though, if your water hose is still on, if you don't have it winterized.
Yeah, true. All right. Anyone else had some input? Anna Grace, looks like your hand was up. Yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to make sure I understand this. You're thinking about like doing a virtual polar plunge?
Yes.
So you can almost do like, do y'all remember the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge?
Yes.
So almost kind of do it like that?
Yeah, that was my thinking.
Okay. I just want to make sure I have a better understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Very good. Anyone else with an idea? Hands up so I can see.
You have an idea? Raise your hand. No?
Oh, Matt Weingram.
Matt.
I agree with the virtual power plunge thing. I definitely we can do that.
What kind of things do you think we could do to help promote the virtual plunge?
Like had 10 people at a time for in the water.
Yeah.
Have another 10 people do it, like in groups.
So, do you think we could do like a something in a backyard, or?
We should do like a backyard or something. instead of going to Sandy Point Park, I think it would happen.
Okay.
I hope it will happen next year.
I think Mr. Godoy is next.
Godoy. David Godoy, go ahead.
I love the Elena's idea about potentially doing a virtual plunge at home. I can have the assistance of my family members and throw a bucket of ice while I'm standing up and somebody videotape me, and I can send it to you, Adam and Jason, and then you can edit and then post. After you edit, you can post it on the Polar Print Plunge website.
How about rather than having because the ice bucket challenge of pouring it over you, it has already been done. Would there be something that you want to do where you're actually getting in the water that's extremely cold or something like that in some way? I heard the thing about the hose, but are there like any other cool ways you guys
What
think?
about a dunk tank?
So maybe there could be a dunk tank. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we put Jason Schrimmel in a dunk tank?
Stephanie Piles said you could use a baby pool with a bag of ice in the water.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Or you can
Elaine,
put Jason Schrimmel in a dunk tank and put a whole bunch of ice in it.
Great.
And throw balls at it.
Like Canadian in the water, yeah.
Fabulous. I was on a call last night. I was on a call last night, and Special Olympics Idaho has a mobile plunge unit, and it's a truck that drives around with a bucket. It's a bucket truck, and they fill it with water, and it pulls up at a school or it pulls up at a location, and people just go ahead and dunk in it. Like they literally drive it around the state. And
That's clever. Wow.
So there you go. That's my contribution.
I've seen things like that.
Yeah. Any other hands up? Let's take
Anybody else have any other ideas?
I think that's it. Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys. I think that was a really good question, Elena. Great job.
You're welcome.
Okay, so our next one from Christine Town includes sports like volleyball and equestrian as statewide sports. Can you explain that a little bit, Christine?
Sure. I know when I first saw Special Olympics, volleyball was a statewide sport, but now delegations are starting to not have many interests or whatever, but now just our county does it for Howard. And it's actually really, really cool. And then likewise for equestrian, we're one of the few counties in the state that do it. And then for a time we were announced in the State Summer Games program. But what I've noticed as every time I go to Towson, they don't announce equestrian for the Summer Games, like, oh, this county did this, and they hosted a competition like our county. We've been hosting one at my barn since like last year. We were gonna have one this year, but it never happened because of this COVID stuff. And it's really, really fun, and a lot of my friends do it. But it's fun to get the council's thoughts with that. And what I know equestrian is expensive and everything, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
So the question is, can you say the question one more time?
Oh, sure. Basically, if we can try and incorporate those sports again back in the state of Maryland for Special Olympics.
So you want to bring those sports back at state level, correct?
Yes, if it's possible.
Okay.
And they maybe announce it, maybe those counties that do them at the statewide competitions, because we never get, like, I know at least for Howard County, we never get announced for equestrian for the summer games.
Jason, do you think this is a vote thing, or like should we have someone talk about it, or?
I think we can reach out to Steve Bennett, who's our VP of competition, and we can get an answer for you, Christine, on either on how you would get a sport back, or how would a sport be included at the state level? Would that begin to answer your question?
Yeah, in any way, in any possible way. But if you need more information or whatever, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, guys.
Okay, yeah, well, you'll definitely be the main person on this one. Okay.
I'm the only one on the council that does those two sports, so.
Yeah, but at least we'll find an explanation. So.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay. That's
All
good.
right. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep.
You're welcome. Awesome. Thank you. So our next topic, Chris Stone should be the DJ for the summer games from Monique. This topic's from Monique Matthews. I think I know where you're going with this, Monique, but can you explain that to us?
Sure. So, Adam, I believe you sat in a Baltimore County meeting also, Jason, with Sam and I, and Stephanie Stein actually brought this up to me because she said she's been attending the dance parties every Saturday, and she thought an idea for a DJ or music would be Chris Stone. She's saying he's awesome. It's like he actually gets me moving and I'm on my bed. So, yeah. So she was saying that if we could either do a vote or however you want to do it, Adam, to see if we could get Chris Stone to actually DJ. And I talked to Chris one Saturday before his set, and he said that he would do it. He said either contacting Jason, I guess, since he's the main person doing it, or contact you, but he is ready, willing, and able. He said he just needs a date and a contact information for you or Jason.
So if he's available and if he knows sports he's competing in, because I think he competes in summer games, if there's nothing that is preventing him, it sounds like you're asking how if everyone here would want Chris Stone to be the main DJ for next year's summer games.
Right, for like the block party.
For the block party. Okay, so
the block party area. I don't know where you would put him, but that's the idea Stephanie came to me with. Put him in a block party.
Can I get everyone who, for those of you who do not know Chris Stone is a Special Olympic athlete from Montgomery County that has DJ'd a lot of our events, and he's very good at what he does, getting out the music and getting our athletes pumped up. So I guess what Monique's asking is for everyone here, how many of you would like to see Chris Stone be the DJ for next year's summer games? Please raise your hands if you think he should. I'm seeing.
You too, Monique. I don't see your hand up.
Yeah, you too, Monique.
Hold on, Jason. I'm doing it in the chat. Okay. There you go. Okay. I'm doing it in the chat because I knew y'all were going to say something.
This
is unanimous.
This seems pretty unanimous to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, Monique, the next steps that we'll take is Adam and I we'll go and talk to the people who run the block party. And well, actually, we'll talk to Chris Stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then second action item, if Chris agrees, we'll talk to the people who run the block party. So.
Okay.
Can I add something to that real quickly?
Yeah, please.
Some of the guys in the chat are also saying we should have him and DJ Kopeck together, like we did for the virtual block party itself.
Yeah, and DJ Kopeck did raise money for us, so that would make sense.
So kind of have like it as a fundraiser along with Chris being the DJ or something like that.
Yeah, DJ Kopeck seemed to have a lot of followers that raised money for us.
It would during our summer games we would have athletes having fun dancing, but DJ Kopeck could also have it going virtually, showing us dancing, all that stuff, and it could raise funds with us at the same time as we're having fun at the block party.
Yeah,
right?
and he also said he would be plunging as well with his wife, I think.
I think that's what.
And can I just add something to like what Monique just said?
Yeah.
Barb Natoli also even double challenged him to do the super punch.
I saw that. Yeah.
Looks like Alexia's hand is up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexia.
Go ahead.
So I was just about to say, people who do cheerleading, it's like not an overnight sport, and some people only do cheerleading for the summer games. So it's sometimes people who do cheerleading don't stay for the block party because they're not staying for another sport and it's a long day. So that would be another thing if you like are talking about like when we just voted about a DJ for the block party. Some people who do cheerleading don't have another sport they do, so they don't attend the block party.
I think I see AG's hand up too. Go ahead.
AG, this is funny.
So adding on to what Alexia said, since we're both on the same team, for those who only have one sport like us, it's kind of like a one and done thing. And we don't get the chance to experience the block party, basically. Because the drive for us can take up to an hour. So it's kind of like, well, do we stay here and wait all day or go and take a nap?
So if you had the block party virtually online, do you think you'd watch it and kind of dance along, even if it were by yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good because you're still including everybody.
Yeah. So it sounds like we should approach about a virtual, not just having Chris Stone as a DJ, but making it a virtual type event too for others, Jason, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So if we don't have any other things about this topic, I will move on. All right. So our next one, the service dog situation. Sam Livingston, can you explain this a little bit to us?
Yeah. So you and Jason and Rusty and Matt and Monique were all there, but one of our athletes in Baltimore County has a service dog, and a lot of athletes in our county are like against her having a service dog, and they basically have been trying to push it back, and are like saying, like, especially those who are scared of dogs are like having it as a huge issue for other athletes to have the dog, and they're freaking out about it, and she's not a huge fan of that.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
So Sam, are you saying we should find out what Special Olympics' position is on service dogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I noticed a lot of the coaches in my county are like against that as well. They're trying to like get the dog out.
All right. Okay. So AG, I see that you could speak on service dogs. So you go ahead and add to this discussion.
Got to mute.
Yeah, I think
She's a subject matter expert. We had one of her service dogs on our team. He was a teammate.
That's great.
So, I used to have a service dog. She helped me. She was our mascot, and due to federal law, they can't say no to her having a service dog. If you need resources, I can send you resources and also like how we would handle that. If I was going up to somebody or something like that, Keeper, my service dog, would stay with my mom, but she'd still have eyes on me and be able to help. So are some coaches against the service dog?
Yeah, there's a former coach in my county that has a daughter that's terrified of dogs, and he's trying to like veto it, so to speak.
Oh yeah, I remember because I was on the call too. They're trying to veto the fact that she has a service dog, and just like with you, I remember saying because she needs it for comfort and everything else.
Yeah,
and the
kind
people
of
are just
fear, medical necessity kind of outweighs the fear, so they'll just have to come up with some sort of compromise.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Most service dogs are very well trained too.
And I am happy to help you figure out that solution to the problem, since I have experienced that. So just let me know and I'm happy to help.
Yeah, I can get you in contact with my friend actually if you'd like.
Okay.
Jason, is this something that like the state should follow up on, or is this something that?
So I would like AG to work with us to talk to the state. I think being the subject matter expert would be great, because I think that there's a certain protocol that we should follow to make sure that we get all the steps in. We want to support this athlete in Baltimore County.
So when you say state, do you mean for Special Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Sorry about that. I should.
No, you're good. I just want to like try and figure out. So
yeah, I don't think we have a position necessarily written down anywhere. It may be that we have to work on actually adopting a position that we include. So that'll be good. Yeah.
And after this, I can email you the reading material that I have and those types of things.
Yeah.
Elena, I see that you want to say something.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anna, that by federal law, American Disabilities Act law, service dogs are allowed to follow their owners everywhere, because I know another athlete, Stephanie Anderson, she's a swimmer and she has a service dog. So I think this would also be very beneficial to her, that also her dog would be allowed to follow her through all the stages of the staging for getting ready for her race.
Yeah.
And one of the volunteers on the pool deck can, be responsible for her dog, when she's in the water, but her dog is still in the line of vision should anything happen.
Right.
Yeah. So the dog needs to be able to see their owner to make sure that they're doing okay, and if they are having whatever, that they can alert the person. So, I mean, Special Olympics is about inclusion and making modifications for everyone, so this shouldn't be an exception.
Yes, I 100% agree with you.
That's pretty clear, yeah. And I think Anna Grace, I've got a couple of friends that have service dogs, and that should be something that should be looked at.
And I know my friend Dan Chikolsky, he's he almost has little to no vision, and he also has a seeing eye dog.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's like.
So if you ever have anything regarding service dogs and need information, let me know.
Rusty, you were going to say something?
Yes, I was talking to a friend of mine that if there's a conflict dog or a service dog, they should have a tag on their collar at all times regarding about being a service dog or conflict dog itself, including that I can double check with a friend of mine that who's blind about state laws and federal laws itself.
I was gonna say something like that too. What about, I have friends who are blind and also who are hearing impaired as well. And well, I know one of my friends, she is blind and she has a service dog. And what about those who have like cane? We need to be mindful of those to be more comfortable with those around them.
All right. So it sounds like we, the Athlete Input Council, will tackle the service dog question, and then we'll report back on our progress. I'll actually have AG. We'll get together with her and whoever she wants, and we'll start making a plan to address this.
And then I was gonna also say as well, Jason, I can help with those who have who have a cane, or not just those who have service dogs with C9 dogs, but for those who have other ways to help them throughout the activities of daily living. Whether are blind or whether they are deaf or anything like that, because I have friends who are within those categories.
Okay, great. Thank you, Christine.
Wow, what a strong topic. Great.
I agree.
Great. I'm glad you brought that up, Sam. So
yeah, my friend will be really happy to hear that.
All right, guys. So let's move on to our next topic. How could we get adaptive cycling involved in the virtual movement? This is a topic from David Godoy. Can you explain that to us a little bit, Mr. Godoy?
I have been fortunate enough to, even though COVID-19 shut down small businesses and I am not allowed to come back to work, I still able to do it virtually. So I do the trainers done the demonstration standing up, and I do the sitting down version. And one time they asked me to do a demonstration about how would be a person do adapted cycling by only using items inside of your house. So one of those items that I use is a simple chair, and by the power of your legs and your arms, you can still do like they do the pedaling. You do a demonstration about pedaling with your legs and with your arms, and you're pretending to have a real bicycle. Because I know that to have a real bicycle can be expensive. So I thought that by adapting cycling would be a good idea for all of the athletes. But not only adapted cycling, but at the beginning of adapted cycling and at the end of adapted cycling, we do also like a breathing exercise, and we also have next to us, we have a cup of water next to us. So we can have it in between, we can have a drink of water.
So I guess you're asking everyone how could we do an adaptive cycling without being on a bike for our virtual movement? what kind of ways do you guys think that we could do to act like we're cycling, but we're not, inside or somewhere virtually?
I know that Ben Vargas has helped me before come up with a PowerPoint presentation, and we can have an example of a PowerPoint presentation of how does most of the techniques of how to do cycling from your own house just using a chair.
Thank you. Sam?
I don't know if you have one, David, but there's like these power bikes that you can use like to work out with. I don't know if you have those. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
That can be like that in a sense.
That's also a good idea, yeah, to have to have that kind of bicycle in your house, yes.
Mm-hmm. Monique?
David, I don't know if you can do this, but Adam probably knows what I'm talking about. You know, like when you ride a bike and you're kicking your legs out and you're doing a circular motion?
Yes.
You could do that to simulate a bike without actually using it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, kind of like do like bicycle kicks. So that way you're still doing the motion of the bike even though you don't have it.
I agree. Thanks so much for the ideas.
So I sit on the cycling management team, but we could definitely push or send this to Bim Varga or the cycling management team, just because they deal with training. Do you think that would be a good idea?
I believe it's a great idea, and to have some input from you and from Ben Varga and whoever is in charge of the sports department.
So why don't we make this as an action item to send this to Ben Varga and or the cycling state cycling management team for their input on how we could get more adaptive cycling during the virtual movement here. So is that a good idea?
Yes.
Everyone agree with that? Okay, so all right, so that's a great job. So all right, let's now I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Thank you so much, guys. Let's move on to our next one. This is from Stephanie and Ray. See about getting training for coaches close to home and getting some new sports. Ray and Stephanie, could you explain that to us a little bit?
In Allegheny County, we don't really have any sports. After summer games, we really don't have anything till skiing in the winter due to the lack of sports and lack of, people that want to coach. Some athletes want to coach, but our director's a little hesitant on that. So to find other coaches, we have to try and go outside the sport and find people who's willing to donate their time. Not as easy as what we think it would be, So we just trying to get ideas on other than trying to go past our director, we don't know what to do on who to try and find or any good ideas. Because we have athletes that want to coach, but like I said, our director's putting a stop to it.
I'm gonna ask Jason. Can athletes coach? Because I know before we had JT, he coached basketball. He wanted to coach this year, but our director wouldn't let him. But he coached before. So is athletes not allowed to coach now, or?
Yeah, so athletes are allowed to coach. They are required to go through the same training as any other coach because from the time they decide to be a coach, they'll be considered a volunteer doing that. So that there's a whole process that they have to go through. It's not difficult. They do have to meet those requirements in order to become a coach. Yes.
Okay.
So I think I see. I think I see Alexia's hand up.
Yes. I remember a few years ago, and this past year in 2019, Miss Gale and one of our other coaches, Coach Jordan, they did a lyrical team. That was nice to. That would be a good thing to have in the fall, and to find somewhere we can perform at.
Yeah, those are like, what do they call them? Local interest sports, where they kind of launch it for 3 years until you become an official sport.
Gotcha.
So, does that help answer your question, Ray and Stephanie?
Yeah, it helps a little. I mean, like I said, we're hoping to try and push past our director to get athletes to be allowed, because I don't know if we got. I mean, we got people that want to go do the training, but it's we're holding us back for our county.
Ray and Stephanie, would it help? I guess for those of you who aren't familiar with kind of where Allegheny County is, and I'm sure most of you are, but there's always a couple. It is in kind of the panhandle or the north west of Maryland. So it is sometimes difficult to get to Baltimore to do training. If we worked on finding online resources so some of your coaches didn't have to travel, would that be helpful?
Yeah, that would very much.
Okay. So I'm going to make a note that that's, so Debbie, if you're taking notes, the follow-up for this is that we're going to do some research for online resources for sports coaching.
About letting athletes coach.
Great.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Is there a way you could talk to Dottie to see about him taking these classes again? Because I know he was interested in doing a new sport too, but Dottie wouldn't let him. And he's took classes before to coach. I mean, they've obviously expired by now, but he used to coach basketball, and he was a really good coach of basketball because I was on his team.
Okay. Yeah. We can.
But I don't know what sport he wanted to do, but it was something he said about starting a new sport, and he would coach it. I don't remember exactly what sport it was because I haven't talked to him in a while, because usually we talk at bowling and stuff when we haven't had it. But I know he told me Dottie wouldn't allow him to coach, and he's been really wanting to.
Okay. I think that's something we can talk about definitely on Monday for our Allegheny County meeting, and then we can create some action items on a smaller scale for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, thank you for that. We're going to move on to our next topic from Candace Herget. Ways to virtually train in our sports. If in-person training is not safe to happen in the fall, coaches could do continuing online get-togethers after COVID-19. Can you explain this to us a little bit, Candace?
Well, the first one is coaches can do, like, you've seen the tutorial videos mostly for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if coaches did like tutorials, like strategy tutorials, like in my sport, bocce, they can teach you how to play the rail or knock the other people out. Then the second one, continue online get-togethers. Like, we can continue this, like with the Zoom meetings, like we're doing right now for this, and do like social clubs. That way, through these clubs, we can meet new people and everything, and just have a good time. So I don't know if something that you guys want to do, like coaches do like tutorial videos.
So so if in-person training is not safe to happen in fall, you think coaches could get online and share some of their knowledge of what we would be,
Yeah, like
what athletes could do.
yeah, like a strategy thing.
Okay.
I don't know
What
if
do you-
anybody's interested.
I'm interested.
So that way you can practice at home with those strategies so the coaches can produce for you.
So it sounds like you're.
Yeah, that I was gonna say too, Adam. Like, I just had a thought, like, say if my farce wasn't happening this year, we could have some strategies and we can have for the next season.
So it sounds like you guys want a way from your coaches to be able to practice by yourself, and if your coaches could help show you what kind of things you could do at home, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Okay.
Can I add something to that, Candace? And actually,
ahead,
that
Lana.
is a very good idea. And Sam, I really think me and you are thinking a lot alike today. It's kind of eerie. But what I was thinking, with this, for soccer, we can post videos of us working on like our skill sets, like our shooting, our dribbling, ball handling,
skills video.
and maybe we can also, issue these as challenges. Like I challenge, my teammate Anastasia. I challenge you to take part in this as well.
Monique, I saw your hand up.
I appreciate Candace's idea, but what if you don't do a sport that requires a tutorial? Because I do track. With track, basically all you're doing is running and throwing a javelin and throwing a shot.
Maybe. Well, these videos, the tutorial can show you like proper form and everything.
But I'm in Baltimore County. I won't say they don't believe in showing us proper form. It's just, Sam can agree to this. It's more of all right, we'll show you how to do it in the beginning, but then it's up to you what you do with it. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, the form and everything is fine with me, which they have taught me, but it just seems like they're just like, okay, we gave you the skills, all right, go.
So I guess this is where you would, Monique, if you wanted to do it, those videos are there for you to try. If it sounds like what Candace is saying, produce something that the coaches, or have coaches produce something that their athletes can try and
help them improve.
Yeah, I would be down with it. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
It just depends on, if our coaches do it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Convince your coaches to be able to do something like that is what.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So, does anyone else have any other ideas?
Adam, Gail, and AG have their hand up.
Oh, okay. Gail?
Yes. And Monique, another thing they could do for sports like track is for their videos is conditioning and training, strength training, things like that for cardio and fitness to help your endurance and whatnot. But what we've been doing with cheerleading since we couldn't complete our season is we've been doing some Zoom classes. We've had like a small dance class and Zumba for fitness and some stretching. Anna Grace actually leads our stretching Zoom once a week and a conditioning twice a week. We're also going to be adding some cheer skills so people can continue to work and improve on their skills at different levels. So it does take highly committed coaches to do that and take the time. So I think off-season sports will be a little more challenging, but I know we had a Calvert County management team meeting with our area director just last week via Zoom. And for our fall sports that we can't hold, like soccer and bowling, logistically, we couldn't work it out to actually hold a season this year for that. We're going to have those coaches fill in the gap with Zoom meetings. So you can still have the athlete engagement sports wise, but also on the social end, and build community that way and keep everybody in touch. So I think a lot of the areas, other counties are probably looking at the same type of thing and boosting, filling the void in their sports by doing Zoom classes and training.
Great. Thank you. Anna Grace, I think your hand was stiff. Go ahead.
So kind of going back on what Coach Gale said, you could do a Zoom meeting since Zoom has become so popular and reliable, and you can record it like Jason is doing with this meeting. So the host, the coach, can lead the Zoom meeting and then record it and send it to the athletes. Especially like if you missed that Zoom meeting, you can see what you missed and you can go back and look over like what you did so you can keep practicing.
Thank
you. Can I please add a comment as well?
Go ahead, Christine.
Sure. Maybe we can bring that idea to the area management teams and see what they think of that idea.
So you think that area management teams should figure out if our coaches should do something virtually for us? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if we can't go into the fall like playing all fall respective fall sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can also give plenty of notice to the coaches so they will give us an answer whether they are available or whether they're not available.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else have any other ideas? I think we're good. Okay, so thank you.
Hey, Adam, can I add that our action item on this will be to go talk to the sports department to see if they plan to do any virtual sessions.
Okay.
So and then report back on those sports that maybe don't have plans, and then if athletes want to take leadership positions in moving those other sports forward, we could.
What do you guys think of that as an action item? Do you like that?
I like it.
We can make it an action item.
Yes, please.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Write it down.
Writing it down. All right. So, all right. We're closing in, guys. Okay. So, our next, next one that we're going to go to is Abby Givens. Continue online activities even when the COVID-19 is over. Abby, can you explain that to us a little bit?
Unmute. Yes, I can tell you guys. Here's what I'm thinking. I hope that some of the Zoom meetings keep going after COVID-19, like the cooking, dance, and great speakers.
Okay, is there, go ahead.
Thanks.
Is there a question to that, or anything that you wanted to come out of that as an action item?
He wants to know if there's a question. So the question is, can we keep doing this?
Yes.
And you asked the question, can we keep doing this after COVID-19?
Yes, my friend could do that.
Jason,
no, I'm not asking you, you ask him. Can we?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, can we do this? Keep this going together.
Can we keep this? Okay, cool. Jason, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, but first I want to know, is that Abby's cat talking on the side?
We were talking about that.
Abby's cat's on her head.
Right behind. No, I'm kidding.
All right, what did you say?
So Abby, you're asking if we can continue the social clubs and the dance parties and those opportunities that we get to meet during the week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I have an opinion on it, but I'm really interested in what other people think. So if I think we have a little bit of time still, could we? If you have an opinion, raise your hand either virtually or physically, and I would love to hear from you. So, Abby, I assume that you support that you would like to continue.
Yes.
Okay.
Sam, I think I see your hand up.
Thanks.
All right, I'm just gonna say right off the bat, the virtual stuff that we're doing on Zoom, not this, but you know what I mean. The like social clubs and stuff has really changed my life ever since this whole COVID stuff. I love it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure everybody else is the same way. If we end it, that's pretty much gonna be end of Special Olympics for me. Not that, but I'm just saying, it seems like it. You know.
End of the social side. Social.
Yeah.
So Sam, I just want to make sure that we're clear. So if tomorrow, and it's not going to happen, if tomorrow we started sports and we got to all go out and practice together, do you still want to keep the social club aspect?
Yes, I do, especially
Okay.
the dance parties, because we get a lot of people going on in the dance party, and if we, and I think it's, and also the other social clubs in general are really fun to do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't just drop everything, but
Seems like it, sounds like it to me, but that's just me.
Elena?
Yeah, I agree. I would love to see, you know, us continuing these social clubs, because I feel like I really got to know the athletes a lot more better than I would like in the traditional competition setting. And you know, I've got to meet athletes who probably only don't even do the sports I do, when I only seen them so far in the Zoom clubs. And I am also looking forward to the dance party tonight, which, by the way, Sam, I did request Chris to play Don't Stop Believing, and he will be playing it.
Yeah, you mentioned
but
that. I'm
also
excited for that.
for the trainings, you know, like for example, like Global Messenger training, I think we can also offer that after this whole pandemic thing is over, because then we can reach more athletes who don't have the means to make it to the trainings that we have at the state office. Like, for example, like if they live all the way over in Ocean City, then they got to plan out if they're going to leave the day before to come to the office for the training.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, Christine.
Sorry, Adam.
That's good.
So I agree, if we can continue these activities, these online activities, they really make my week. Be more fun. And especially right now when we can't see each other in person, it just makes me feel good. And even like with the dances, I see people who did sports in Maryland and they now live out of state. They sometimes join in with the activities.
So you're getting to meet.
Yeah, I noticed
other
that.
people.
Like, I think last social club, there was a person from Canada, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of my friends, like two of my friends, one is in Florida and one is in Texas, and one lives in, another friend of mine lives up in Boston, so they sometimes join in with the activities as well. And even those who do Special Olympics and don't do the same sporting events like most of us, they still get to see each other, and we get to meet each other.
So it sounds like it's this has really benefited everyone. I know it has me. So
I think Carmen's our last one with her hand.
Carmen, go ahead. Ooh,
oh, there we go. We should keep this social distancing and those social clubs I meant, and also of the dance things, what other people said about the dances. We should keep on doing dances as well.
great. Yeah, sounds like the dances are the big thing. So cool. All right, guys. So thank you.
I'll just, Adam, could
go
I
ahead,
just
Jason.
answer Abby then? So I agree with your answer. I told everyone that I have an answer as well. And so when practices resume on a pretty regular basis, we may not have 2 a week, but we will be definitely hosting 1 social club per week regardless. But that we will host 2 social clubs up until that we are into full practices, and we will continue to host the dance as long as Chris Stone wants to do it. So I really appreciate that Abby brought that up, and
We need to get
my
COPEC
commitment to
involved
you
as
is
well.
that. So
Good, yeah. Thank you for that, Abby. All right, so our next topic: make golf state games into a 2-day competition. Propose to shrink down the amount of athletes that compete to reduce risk. This is from Greg Fuss. Greg, can you talk a little bit about this for us? I think you may be on mute, man.
What I was thinking is that if we have skills on like a Saturday and then course play on Sunday, so that way we don't run into any complications with having skills run into skills awards, run into course play awards, so that way we can still have 2 days of golf states, and then that way we can just do skills on Saturday, and then that way we can still have states for golf. As far as we can have skills on Saturday, that way skills can still have their competition. And then for like course play, like myself, Rusty, and then the rest of golf, we still have our course play.
What do you guys think about having a 2-day golf competition to help reduce risk as opposed to having a 1-day? I think I see Elena's hand up.
Yeah, I agree with having it split over into 2 days, especially considering that skills, we're pretty much, I mean, our competition pretty much only lasts like maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours. But my question is, like for like reduced players, would you mean like for if we have this upcoming golf season, like for the course players, like for alternate shot, would this mean we would not have like the unified pairs this year? Because I mean, I know with golf we can pretty much social distance pretty much.
Greg?
With course play, we're pretty much spread out throughout the course. Where skills not spread out, but we can do like 6 groups of 10 people, and then we can spread them out between the 6 stations. Okay. And then we can rotate them in and out of their stations that they would be scheduled for.
Jason, does there sound like there could be an action item that comes out of this, or?
I think we could bring the suggestion, unless there's opposition, when there absolutely, if people have it, let me know. But we could bring it to the golf management team and see, and Pat, who was talking about making adaptations for sports, and see what they plan to do and see if it matches with what Greg is suggesting.
Does that sound like it is reasonable, Greg, and everyone?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I agree with Greg on this because I find that the state games that will you need to practice to warm up on the driving range. It gets crowded there, of a lot of people there. It gets confusing there, and you just don't have enough time to warm up their property. So I do agree with Greg on Saturday with skills. To have them go at it. And also on Sunday is a unified partners, and also the solo players play a round of golf into the state games itself.
Okay, so sounds like there's an action item that's coming out of this. All right, cool. Well, if anyone doesn't have anything else to say, we're going to move on to our next topic. All right, so now we have from Anna Grace, how to increase awareness for Special Olympics and unified sports. Can you explain that to us a little bit, Anna Grace?
So before I joined Special Olympics, I don't think I knew about unified partners. And then even now I'll ask people like, hey, do you know about it? They have not got a clue about what unified is. And so I think we need to advertise it in some way where it is being unified. Give them a little description about what it is.
Okay, so guys, everyone, how would you think we could increase awareness for Special Olympics and unified sports? To
social media.
Through social media, okay.
I feel like social media is always the way to go. Can't think of, because for me it's word of mouth.
Okay.
And so I found out about it through a friend, and then I'll tell my friends about it. And I'll try and get more people to come, but they won't. I'm sorry, I have to take care of my dog 1 second.
That's okay. So while she's doing that, does anyone have any ideas on how we could increase awareness for Special Olympics through unified sports in our state? Go ahead and raise your hand if you have an idea. Doesn't sound.
Monique has her hand up.
Go ahead, Monique.
Okay.
Okay. So Special Olympics and Unified, I had the same story as AG, if you don't mind me calling you that. I actually found out through word of mouth through a friend that was actually doing it. So what I would suggest on top of the social media is like a representative from Special Olympics actually sitting there and explaining what Special Olympics and Unified do together or do it separately. So that way people know, oh, okay, they just don't have Special Olympics, they have unified partners, which means they could go to schools, which means they can recruit people outside of Special Olympics. So basically kind of do the social media Special Olympics representative mixed into one. To add on your idea.
The website for Special Olympics, does it have a part about unified partners?
I believe so. Jason, am I wrong?
Our website stinks. So,
my nickname is AG, whoever asked.
Yeah,
so
that was me.
I don't think we have. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we have a very good section for unified partners. We are redesigning the site now. It will be better, and there will be partners in. So I think the discussion should be around what do we do in the meantime between websites. So
I don't know where to lead them, like where they should look about unified partners.
So there are a lot of good resources. There are lots of good resources that the international office has for unified. Maybe we could promote more on our leadership Facebook site. You know, just to promote about unified sports more on our athlete leadership Facebook page.
I think that's a perfect idea.
Cool. It sounds like that's a good action item we could bring out of that. Anybody else have any good ideas? Okay, Elena?
Yeah, and also I was kind of thinking, you know, to kind of piggyback off of what Monique was saying, what if we went into schools that have unified sports or the interscholastic unified and say, hey, you know, if you want to continue doing unified sports after you graduate from your school years, you know, you can do sports, you know, like unified swimming, unified bocce, unified tennis, bowling. There's a ton of whole other sports where they can also compete in and being unified, and maybe even they can also compete alongside an athlete that they also competed with during their school years.
So at my high school, we did have Special Olympics unified. It wasn't very advertised well around the school, which I think may have been the problem. But also, I didn't know about it in middle school, and I think with unified partners, you have to kind of get them to join younger instead of, how do I word it? Because, like, the older you are, like me, I'm about to go off to college, so my team's going to lose a unified partner. And I think if you get them at the younger age, you have more time to kind of
get them involved.
That unified partner.
So maybe I don't know how many of you know about our athlete-led media team, Maryland Media in Motion, but maybe we could do more stories about unified from our media team to
what is it called again, Adam?
Maryland Media in Motion, or MP, Special Olympics Maryland Media in Motion. Jason and I started this like several years ago, and now we're trying to get more people involved to become reporters, you know, and other things like that to help.
Sign me up.
Jason, I think we got someone.
There we go. You're signed up. Welcome.
Boom. That gives us more.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like we're getting through this. Nice.
Me three.
Same.
Jason. Here. Yeah, separate training.
All right.
All right. So, or we could also create a unified division of our media team. You know, separate, not just part of our media team, but make a unified only division of it. So, but just to cover all things unified. So yeah, it's a you guys sounds like we got a bunch of new people. Great. I think I see some hand up from Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey, you're good.
Could we talk to Best Buddies groups and invite them to do unified sports?
Jason,
reaching out to Best Buddies, and since both organizations are started by Shrivers, I think we are. So we should work closer with Best Buddies. A great idea, Bailey.
How many of you are involved with Best Buddies on here?
I am.
Sounds like
I
we got.
was.
I used to.
I was, but my senior year of high school, and then after that, that is all.
How many of you
I'm in Best
currently are
Buddies.
involved?
You currently do
I constantly do
with the college.
with the college.
Yeah.
So
I did Best Buddies when I was a freshman in high school, which was 2014. And in 10th grade, I became a buddy coordinator to help the officers plan different events for Best Buddies. So I graduated high school in 2017, and this coming semester, I mean my 7th semester. So I've been out of Best Buddies for like 3 years, and it's pretty sad once you get out of like high school for having like Best Buddies and something like that.
Yeah, I've they don't really offer Best Buddies here in Frederick. Seems to be more of a city or central to Baltimore type thing.
I've never heard of it, Adam, and I live in Baltimore City. I'm not even a part of Best Buddies.
Yeah, so, but anyway, it's sounds like we have some great ways. I think Jason, is there an action item you think we could take out of this?
I think we'll do some, it seems like if we could take some resources from the international office and start posting that, that's some really easy stuff. Or it's for some early successes, so we'll do that. And if people have resources, to let us know. And then the second action item would be to maybe do some media training for those athletes interested in how to use a camera and a microphone, and we could actually create pockets of reporters where they could file their own stories and stuff and highlight Unified. So
great. Bailey, I think I see your hand up.
Yeah, I've got to mention some colleges do Best Buddies.
Some what?
Some colleges.
Some colleges.
Yes, do Best Buddies.
Okay. And Abby, I think I see your hands up.
Yes, I do like to say something.
Go ahead.
My dad works in middle school. He wants for Unified Tennis Club to pair. Well, we pair partners for high school. And that's it.
Start recruiting in middle school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's great. We should do that.
That's my dad.
Great, cool. So, all right. So, and our last topic. I can't believe we're already to our last topic.
Sorry, Adam. Gail had her hand up.
Oh, Gail, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. Back on the Unified, because all the teams that I coach are Unified. We the first couple of years we went traditional teams, but after that, because I've been coaching our team about 12 years now, we switched to Unified, and so we've done a lot of recruiting. In the early years, would actually go to the local high schools and meet with the coaches and the teams of the cheer squads at those schools to try to recruit. And that was helpful because I have a kind of a rigid screening process for my Unified partners. I want to make sure they're there for the right reasons, that they're going to be well trained and do a great job and make it a positive experience for everyone. So I think recruiting can be a challenge at times, especially different age levels, because of our athletes I have athletes in our 50s that are also doing our teams. So it's good to have a mix of the younger ones. And this year we had our first 8-year-old Unified partners, which really changed the game. So we have a lot of years to work with them, but I'd be most happy to help with any of the work that you do on recruiting Unified sports, because sometimes I've talked to cheer coaches that are hesitant to do a Unified program as opposed to a traditional. So some of it comes at the coaching level as well.
Yeah, I've kind of seen that with some people out there when they've been trying to recruit for Unified sports. So, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right, so before we move on, anything else? Or if not, then I will move on to our last topic. Wow. Engagement, this is from Alexia. Or Alexa, I'm sorry. Engagement with sports we do on off season when we were not doing sports. So can you explain that to us a little bit, Alexa?
Dyslexia, actually, I think you had it right the first time.
For some reason. Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry. So the summer games, when the COVID started, it was really sad that our season had ended halfway through. And it was a hard getting adjusted to not having it every Sunday because I'm so used to seeing them every week. So I was so glad that Coach Gill decided to add some Zoom call videos for like stretching and conditioning and Zumba and dance classes. So I thought it does take a lot of hard work if the other coaches have jobs and other things going on, but we've still kept our Zoom calls. So I thought it would be a good idea if we're not on off season to keep up with the Zoom calls, but also have Zoom calls for socializing with our teammates. So cheerleading is from January to June, and so that goes by really quick. So like on off season from the middle of June to January when we start, we could have socialization with our other teammates and with the other sports we do to communicate with them and stuff like that.
So what kind of things do you guys think we could do to keep in contact with our sports when we're not competing throughout, when we're not in season competing?
And I also wanted to add something, if that's okay. I really like how you guys started the SOMD virtual movement. I think that was a great idea to do so other people could join in. And also our Zoom classes, anyone can join in and do the Zoom classes with us. It's not just for just the stars. So if any of you guys want to come join and try it out, I think you guys would really like it. It'll be fun to meet some new people and socialize and get to know one another.
A little bit of advertising there for you guys. There you go.
Yeah, we'd be happy to post that on our leadership Facebook pages if Gail or Alexia or AG, if you guys want to send us links and stuff, that'd be great.
Miss Gail can do that. I'm giving her.
Thanks, Alexia. Alexia's my boss.
Way to delegate. Nice job.
Yeah, Alexia keeps me in line.
Yeah.
She makes sure I post everything. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Alexia.
No problem.
Candace, I think I saw your hand up. You're muted.
No, I was just typing something real quick.
Okay. All right. So does anyone have any other ideas or I see Elena, your hand's up.
Yes, I think that's a great idea, Alexia. And I know for like what I do, for example, because I'll use swimming as a sport, for example, because
can you say what, I'm sorry, can you say what you just said again, but a little louder, please?
Yes, sorry. So like, for example, like for continuing training your sport or socializing, like for me, my sport that I do is swimming. And I find that you can easily train it year round. And also like for another sport I do is snowshoe. I can still get training for it by running year round.
Cool. Great ideas. Does anyone have anything else? If not, then
Adam, can I ask Carmen? I know you're probably just listening and driving, but or anyone else who's connected to Gigi's Playhouse to also start sending us those opportunities, and we'll post those in our leadership site.
What's Gigi's Playhouse?
Gigi's is open. They do a lot of training as well. But Gigi's serves individuals who have Down syndrome. Cool. And they have many classes. That's a really good organization, and they put on some good stuff, but they're open to everybody. So again, we could really make our Facebook page pretty robust if we're aware of all these trainings.
So, cool. So is there an action item we should come out of this, you think, Jason? Or?
Yeah, I think Gail has the action item. She has to send me. And I think...
yeah, thanks to Alexia.
If we can get...
We added to my to-do list.
Oh, man.
I have a question. I was wondering, Sam, I really liked your comment. He said, he has spotlights on you. I have a question. I see some of you guys are wearing Athlete Input Council shirts. How do you guys get those?
We get them the next actual physical meet, I think. But Jason and Adam, I guess, are gonna get your guys' shirt size.
Yep. Jason and I will take care of it. You just give us your shirt size, and we can. And
we have two actually. We have this one that I'm wearing right now, and we have a brown one as well, I think.
That's long sleeve. A long sleeve brown shirt.
Yeah.
Matt, Alexia, and AG, if you're comfortable, you can private message me your shirt size, and we'll make sure we get them ordered.
Did you get Carmen's and Rusty's and Christine as well?
Oh yeah, so Carmen too. I got Rusty's. Yeah.
If you don't have a shirt like what we're wearing right now, let Jason know.
You might as well give one to Gail as well.
I can't forget about Miss Gail.
No, because Gail, I'm sure, doesn't have enough special big shirts. So.
That's all I wear. That's my wardrobe.
Actually, Gail, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Where do you guys practice?
That's a great question because it's hard to secure practice locations for free. And with cheerleading needs special safety mats because we do stunting and tumbling. So we have a local gymnastics studio that I work with. The owner of the studio, the gymnastics gym, lets us use her facility free of charge. I've known her for years and years. She's coached my daughters before in gymnastics. Cool. So they grew up in her gym. And so she's been very, very generous to donate her space to us. And before that, we also used a local recreation center, community center that had some mats. But you know, it's challenging for that particular sport because of the flooring that you need. But we make it work, and we have a great time.
It's cool.
We have a great team.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Adam and Jason got to meet them on a Zoom call one day, and
I remember. Yep.
It could be a couple of 10 hours.
Yeah, still working on that interview.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Adam, for asking.
You bet, absolutely. So, if that's it, does anyone have any last minute agenda items you would like to share with us? If you, I think before I've had one or two people that sent something, but if you'd like to speak up and share any last minute agenda items, then go ahead. Not, then okay. I think I see Carmen. Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Jason for the suggestion of the Gigi's Playhouse. I hear a lot of great ideas from Coach Gail about the I'm sending Judy a message right now. Mom just said that she's texting Miss Judy from Gigi's Playhouse about what we talked about in our council right now. But I just want to I heard a lot of great ideas from Coach Gail said about cheerleading and social distancing and other things as well. But I know there's like practice and hard work of that, and also have like great opportunities for other things, like people that have not have an opportunity to of things that they do not get to do, but because I know there's a lot of people who want to join us as well, in this council, and we will have to do that. And I remembered from I just had an idea from what Coach Gail just said right now. I remembered there's on Facebook there was a news that we were on a it was in news, but that we're on the it was a hip hop and our team got a gold medal in Florida, the world title in Florida, and we got first place from that as well, from that, and that was a great opportunity to do that. And I was on the screen as well, like talking when we were doing our cheerleading stuff from Calvert County, of that. And I just want to share that to this council.
Very cool. Well, thank you. So, okay, so next we're going to I just have a few announcements. I wanted to congratulate our Secretary Stacy Hall on joining our new Unified Leadership Subcommittee, along with our two new input council members, Alexia and Anna Grace. For those of you who don't know, we created a subcommittee called Unified Leadership, and along with Alexia, Anna Grace, Stacy, and Gail will help give opinions to see how we could better have better unified leadership between unified athlete or unified sports athletes and Special Olympic athletes, and finding different ways to have better leadership together, and not just so that everyone can have that chance to in Special Olympics Maryland to learn and lead together, so that we can become more inclusive. So congratulations to all of you who not only just joined our new input council, but joined the subcommittee. Our next announcement, I just wanted to remind you that, again, our next 2020 meeting reminders are Tuesday, tentatively Tuesday, September 15th, 2020, from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom again. And then Saturday, December 5th, 2020, from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And that's our year, and that will be, and then our year of in party will be after that. So, but that's all to be depending on what's going on with our current situation right now. And just as a reminder, you guys have heard me say many times, it's important for you to continue to ask athletes, area management team, and your area management team for topic ideas, so that you know. And when I send out emails to give me topics, please send them as soon as possible, so I can be able to ask the right people and have it ready for this. So.
And if I could add that, don't wait. If you hear something and you're talking to a friend and they've expressed a concern, or, you know, like, you don't have to wait until Adam asks for these questions. Just keep sending them as they come into your head or as you hear them from other people. That's really important. Because sometimes we forget 2 months down the road. So
just bring them to us, and we'll have them. We'll work on them. So, and lastly, if there are any other interesting updates that any of you have that relate to what you have done with athlete leadership, go ahead and share them with me. Do any of you have any idea or any interesting updates that relate to athlete leadership? No? Okay. Well, I guess, you know what, guys? We are at the end, and I want to thank you, not only all of you as our athlete input councils, but members, but all our helpers that are here today, which include Jason and Gail and Debbie and Tom too. Yeah, and all of you. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll send you as soon as Debbie is done with her notes. We will send you everything that we did today, and we'll continue working on it. Thank you again, everyone, for joining, and please be safe and stay cool out there. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you,
so much,
Jason.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
See
you.
ya.